If you have a 28-day cycle and your cycle is regular, your ovulation is most likely to occur mid-cycle, which will be anytime around day 14. So we're saying maybe between day 12, day 11 to day 16. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to another exciting episode of TTC Diaries with Dr. O. You already know I'm always excited to have you guys here with me as usual, and I'm sure some of you peeped and saw what I was holding in my hand. Can you guess what this is? Just guess. 2 seconds in the comment section. Write it down below. What am I holding in my hand? I know some of you are going to say pregnancy testing kit. Well, you are wrong. This is not a pregnancy testing kit, though it looks like a pregnancy test kit, and this is always the situation most times. Pregnancy test kits and ovulation predictor kits look exactly the same, not too much difference in their physical appearance, except of course you look at the label or something, and they work almost the same way. They're just detecting different hormones, but they work pretty much the same way. So the same way a pregnancy test kit works, or the same way you use a pregnancy test kit, if you know how to use a pregnancy test kit, then you probably know how to use an ovulation predictor kit, because like the pregnancy test kit, it uses your urine as well. It's just that instead of measuring the amount of beta HCG hormone, which is the pregnancy hormone in your urine, this one is measuring the amount of luteinizing hormone, that is LH, that is in your urine. And I remember that I talked in one of my previous videos about how to detect your ovulation. So different ways that you can detect when you're ovulating, right? So that you know the best time to have intercourse with your partner. And one of the methods I mentioned was using an ovulation predictor kit. And I remember in that video, I promised that I was going to do a separate video on how to use an ovulation predictor kit. As promised, this is that video. So if you've never heard of an ovulation predictor kit before, it's just basically like a testing strip that helps you to know when you're ovulating, right? So basically, once you get a positive test on this strip, then you need to have intercourse within the next 24 to 36 hours, because this strip shows that there is a surge or an increase in the luteinizing hormone in your body, and that's usually the sign, or that increase usually happens prior to ovulation. So once that increase has occurred, you know what to do. Intensify your efforts so that you can increase your chances of actually getting pregnant and having that baby. So this is a very, very useful tool to have. You can get it at any pharmacy. You don't need a prescription for it. There are many different brands. Some are more expensive than others, but some are more affordable and some are not. But most testing kits come with a number of tests inside the packet. So this particular one has 9 tests inside it. That's because when you are testing for ovulation, it's not like a pregnancy test where you literally do it just once, right? This one you have to do it for a number of days in your cycle. So before I show you how to use it, I'm going to tell you what you need to know before using it. This ovulation predictor kit, you're not just supposed to use it at any time in your cycle. No, that's not how it works. You cannot just wake up today and say, let me just check if I'm ovulating. No. Remember that I have a video where I talked about how to determine your fertile window using calendar method. Yeah, that fertile window we talked about in that video, that is the time you should be checking for your ovulation. So if you missed that video, I'm going to link it down in the description section below. Make sure you look out for it and catch up with the rest of us that we've already gotten to this level. You should be testing for your ovulation during your fertile window, because your fertile window is when ovulation is most likely to occur. So for example, if you have a 28-day cycle and your cycle is regular, your ovulation is most likely to occur mid-cycle, which will be anytime around day 14. So we're saying maybe between day 12, day 11 to day 16. So it's always a plus or minus, right, situation, plus or minus 2 days or something like that. But ovulation You just have a window. That's why it's called a window, because you can't precisely say this is the day. No matter how regular your cycle is, you can't predict that this is the particular day that ovulation will happen. But you can say, oh, it's probably going to happen between this time to this time. So, it's good to know, so you know where to intensify your efforts when you're trying to conceive. So if you want to use this kit, you should be testing, like I said, around your fertile window. And just as a reminder for those of you that have not watched the video yet, your fertile window is usually between the 8 to 19 of your cycle, right? But like this particular test strip just has only 9, so you want to like reduce that window a bit. A lot of test strips will come with directions on what day to start testing for ovulation, depending on your cycle length. Like the one I have here says, if your cycle length is 26 days, start testing from day 9. If your cycle length is 27 days, start testing from day 10, and so on and so forth. So really, you want to be testing as close as possible to your fertile window, so that you don't have to spend so much money on buying ovulation predictor test kits. We're trying to conceive, but at the same time we should be saving money too, because we need to buy a lot of things for the baby. Babies are expensive. Try to test, like give it a closer time frame to your fertile window. So say 18 to 19 is the average fertile window for whatever your cycle, as long as it's regular. So let's say you can decide to just trim it down a bit, say test from day 10 to day 16 or something, right? Just enough for you to accommodate all these testing strips. Make sure that you are testing at the same time every day. So you can imagine that you're going to be doing this test every day for maybe 9 days or 7 days, or till you at least see a sign that you've ovulated. So you want to be doing this test at the same time every day for you to get the best result. Just like when you're measuring your basal body temperature, like I talked about in one of my other videos, you want to be doing this test at the same time every day. So now let's jump right into the topic of today. How do you use an ovulation predictor test kit? So you pretty much use it in the same way you would use a pregnancy test kit. Remember, always follow the instruction on the ovulation test kit that you bought, right? Instructions vary with different manufacturers, so follow the instructions that your manufacturer put on your testing kit, and not the one another manufacturer put on another testing kit, or the one your friend told you to use. This type of testing kit requires you to dip the strip into the urine sample. So this is my fake urine sample, very clear because I drink a lot of water. And now I'm going to dip the strip right into the urine sample. So you want to dip the part of the strip into the urine sample all the way to cover the strip, but never dip it all the way to cover the area where you're going to be reading. It should not cover the area for reading. It should only cover the test strip site. Once the strip has been covered in urine, you place it on a flat surface and leave it for the specified amount of time stated on the ovulation predictor kit before reading the results. Don't read the result before time, and don't read it when it's too late. So for example, if the testing kit says wait 5 minutes before reading the result, please wait. I know you're anxious, but you need to wait in order to get the best results. If you read it too soon, then you're not going to get the proper results. You're going to get inaccurate results or false negatives, and you don't want that to happen. So let's place it on a flat surface and wait for the stipulated amount of time. So our test is finally ready, and you can see here on the testing kit that we have just one line. Okay, so one line indicates that the test is negative. If you get 2 lines, then it indicates that the test is positive. Positive means that there is an increase in the LH hormone, that's the luteinizing hormone, and ovulation is going to happen subsequently. So once you see a positive test, then make sure you have intercourse every single day for the next 36 hours to increase your chances of getting pregnant. If you have any questions about what we discussed today, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly click the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the like button. Remember that you're not alone on this journey to motherhood. Keep your eyes on the prize, and your baby will be here sooner than you think. Have a lovely week.